The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Here I am in St. Louis, Missouri. Joining me, as always, is Noah in Arizona. Brian Frangie, new sidekick. He's in Los Angeles. Anya Marina is in New York City. And right here in studio with me is my mother, Julie Glaser.
Hello.
What's up?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Round of applause.
Oh, God.
Look at you in your little new shirt that you got at Zara. Wait, where did you get that shirt? Where did we get it? Forever 21.
Yeah, Forever 21.
Yes.
We did some heavy shopping this weekend.
Heavy shopping.
We went to Forever 21
Zara and Starbucks.
And Starbucks.
Yeah, that's all
Did
you
you have
need.
any buyer's remorse? Do you guys get that ever?
Not at Forever 21 because you're paying $7 for something that costs
Nikki
7
bought me
lives
this.
to make. I did?
Yeah,
Oh,
you-
yeah, because she was I just want to get the hell out of there. And so as soon as she found a shirt, I just go, give it to me. Let me just get it. Because I know if she's buying it herself, she'll kind of go, well, do I need this? And then I maybe get this. And what does that sound? Is someone hammering? Do you
or
hear that?
someone trying
Or is
to
that me
knock
knocking?
on your door? No, somebody's knocking.
Yeah,
Door.
I think it's
Somebody's
next door.
hammering.
No, I think the old lady moved
It's
out
your
next door.
fertility.
Yes.
Yes, something's knocking.
Nikki!
That's your door.
Open
Sure, you don't want to freeze Willow's eggs.
You got a couple of weeks left.
Oh,
No.
I have till 11 tonight.
What?
I'm kidding. That's
Oh,
my
I
new
thought
joke.
maybe you had some deadline with a doctor.
I mean, you do have a deadline with it.
I know, but aren't you freezing them with some?
No, I'm not freezing them.
Oh, I weren't you? No. But you were offered.
Oh, yeah. A bestie's dad was like,
Yeah.
I'll do it for half price. But then I was going to do it locally. And it's not about the price. It's not, I can afford it. Listen, I spent $13,000 on Taylor Swift tickets.
God, do you
can
tell
afford
people
it.
that?
I'm being open about it now.
You're telling
It's too-
people.
at first, I
Full
was like, I spent a lot of
transparency.
money. It was like
I
as much
was-
as a child's tuition for half a
Yeah.
semester or whatever. And now I'm just saying, why not full transparency? And it sounds like a brag. Maybe it's a humble brag. Hashtag Harris Wittels. But it is what it is. And you know what? People, I don't care if people know it's not me bragging. It's
right.
funny that I spent $13,000. And if you know Taylor Swift, that's her lucky number. So
That's worked
that's,
out. Like that's
when
why
I
you
saw the
said,
price,
okay,
I go, I gotta do it now.
gotta do it.
If it would have been
meant to be.
26,000, I would have been like, that's 13 times 2. I gotta do
You
that.
would have done that. Yeah.
That's
but
the same
no.
logic you used as Zara.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And
But I learned from you at Zara. You were like, "Are you going to try this on?" No, I'm getting in line.
yeah, my mom does not try
I'm
on things
shocked.
in the place anymore. We just get them and you return them later. That is the way to do it. And listen, this has always been the way I work. I hate dressing rooms. I don't know why. If I ran a retail shop, I would have, first of all, I would have a security guard at the front door. We would have loss prevention in place because I know that people shoplift. I would have Taylor McGraw working loss prevention because she would know who was doing it, and she would steal the things to make up for all the theft
She'd
she was
steal them
preventing.
from the Steelers.
Yeah.
She'd go, I'll take care of that for you.
So I would have dressing rooms that have good lighting and skinny mirrors. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a mirror you can buy, and we all know that mirror. It's the mirror that you always look at in your own apartment. It's the skinniest mirror in your apartment that you can put up and you look way better than you would outside of it. But no places do this. I don't know a single retail outfitter place that has better lighting than I will have at home. And I don't want to cry at the mall. I cry a lot and I get really emotional when I try on things that are too tight or my skin looks too pale, or you turn around and you see that little side angle of your cellulite on your thighs that you did not know it was
the
there.
Side mirrors.
And then
Yeah.
you're depressed the rest of the day, and then it's just it ruins
And you don't
your day.
buy anything.
So what I do, and then you don't buy
Yeah,
anything.
I'm not buying this.
So you know what these stores do? I think they purposely have really bad lighting in there because it makes me go, I don't want to try it on, and I buy a bunch of stuff, and then I forget to return it, or I lapse the 30 days, right?
No, I
But-
think they have just a lot of fake people in line at the tryout. So you go, I can't stand in that line. I'm just going to have to buy it.
No, I don't.
Just
I don't think they'd
kidding.
have
Like actors on the line.
That'd be
my
great to
God.
hire like 6 or 7 people to
Yeah,
make the line
extra,
long.
with big piles of clothes in their hands.
Yeah.
Just
Ju-
kidding.
Mom's just kidding has gotten sad.
It's getting sadder.
Yeah, just kidding.
It's so worn out.
But she, so she just goes, I'm just getting them. And I was so proud of her. And so she just got them. Then she tried them on at home. They worked. We wore it. She wore it to Taylor Swift that night. But we had quite an adventure. We were staying right by a mall in Houston this weekend. We filmed Family Feud this week.
Oh God!
Action
When's that
packed.
coming out? When's that
Glazers.
coming out?
I think on the summer.
It's too long. I can't wait that long for that.
It's pretty quick
Well,
turnaround,
you're-
actually. The summer's almost here. Get that body in shape to watch Family Feud.
Oh, I
and
am.
for the beach. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the turkey clip from Family Feud? That was on. It was from
No,
British
do
Family
tell.
Feud. Like, oh my God, it's the funniest one. It's it's final Family Feud. At the end, and I don't want to ruin it for the people, but basically,
No, it's okay. Do it.
He asks all these questions, like, what would you bring to a picnic? And the first one's like, turkey. That makes sense. And then the second question was like, name a bird. And then he's like, turkey? And then that makes sense. And then the third one is like, what's a place you would go for vacation? And he's like, Turkey. And all five of his answers were turkey.
No way. And they actually fit?
He said, well, no. And then he got zeros on 4 out of 5 of them.
Sounds like us. No,
And he's laughing the whole time. He's like, I can't believe I'm going to say this again, but is it turkey? Oh, man.
That's
You got to
so
go
funny.
watch it. You got to go watch it.
So it's an international show.
Well, there was another clip that I sent to my family that was like, let's do this, because it's here's the thing about game shows. You can get really competitive. If there's real money on the line, like, yeah, take it seriously. But if you're going to be on TV, make it watchable. Like, be funny, be interesting. Like, especially if it's if you're already in the weeds, like, be funny. Always, I think, err on the side of being entertaining as opposed to like saying the right thing. Because also, Family Feud, you don't fucking know what these people are going to say. You don't know what this survey, where this was done.
My God, yeah.
Because some of these answers, let me tell you, don't make any goddamn sense.
No.
And so, let's say there's a choice between saying sex or trampoline, like, as the answer. I'm gonna say sex because they're just equally likely to be things, and sex is gonna get Steve Harvey to make a funny face and to walk around the podium and like take a lap because he can't believe I
Roll
mentioned
his eyes.
roll his
Name
eyes.
an activity where
act
you're
so
going up and down.
Exactly.
Nice.
Wow.
I know.
right.
Were
Brian,
you
That's
there?
Family
Were
Feud.
you there?
I should be a writer.
So yeah, you just try to be funny, and that's what we were. And we can't give any spoilers in terms of gameplay. We can say that we were on it. We played a pop star, BB Rexa, and her family were our opponents.
Do you know who that
Wait,
is?
that was the tongue clue? What you said
What?
when you were trying to get us to guess who
it
it
was supposed to be Gene Simmons.
Oh, he dropped out at the last second.
Yeah. Well, my parents had the worst day of travel imaginable, and so we were supposed to film on early Friday. It got pushed to later because, listen to this travel day.
Do you want me to?
Take them through. And listening to people's travel stuff is not enjoyable, and it is like the worst thing to listen to on a podcast. This, I will say that in the past 2 years of me traveling every weekend for work, all of these things have not happened to me in 2 years that happened to you
You're
on
so
one
lucky.
flight.
Yeah, you are lucky.
It is just luck. That's what it comes down to. And the way you guys handled it was so admirable because you were just like, there's nothing we could do. Because I hear Dad going, in my head, I'm like, Dad's like, we should have left on Wednesday. We should have done this. But he didn't say any of that.
No,
it was just
it was
kind of
basically
like,
his fault because
what?
they-
Here we go.
well-
I thought you were going to be the bigger person here. And
well,
just say,
I'll just tell you,
someone's got to be to blame. This is my family. Who's
But
to blame?
no,
Why is
no.
it Dad's fault?
Well, we could have left the next day. First of all, it started out, our flight got canceled like at 3:00 in the afternoon, and we were supposed to be on a flight at 7. So they canceled that flight. They scrambled to find another flight. They said, yeah, we'll put you on Southwest and you'll go through Austin, Texas. Okay, but that leaves at 6:00. Well, Matt and Lauren, busy kids, they're flying. Yeah, we can make it. So we all get up there, get there. It's delayed. And then it got super delayed.
And they have a connection in Austin.
We had to catch this connection. So
Oh.
that connection we already know is we're not gonna meet it. So we're gonna end up staying in Austin. And we're like, well, we could take that flight at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
and
have a
just-
direct flight on business class
Yes.
and just get there.
Yeah, why wouldn't you do that?
Your father said no.
Uh-oh.
Let's just, I said,
BJ.
we could get stuck. We could get
This
stuck.
explains everything because I could not believe that my dad wasn't bitching so
yeah.
much, but it's
Oh.
because it was his fault.
I didn't blame him. I just said,
Of course you didn't.
You coulda,
But
coulda.
this is because I go, why is dad being so chill about this? It's because he knows the only one to point a finger at is himself because the alternative is the thing he shut down.
He's being
Because we had to
sheepish.
we could have made
Yes.
this decision like early on and say, we have the option of going 6
I
a.m.
wish you would have brought me into this because I would have said, let's do the 6 a.m. flight.
And
It'll
we
be
would have made
okay.
that. We would have made the time. We would have been.
So
anyway, real quickly, we ended up going to Austin, but they couldn't land in Austin because you didn't have enough gas. So we had to go over to
thunderstorms. So they had to
Thunderstorm.
circle and then they ran out of gas. So they went to
Dallas, and we had to go get more gas and sit on.
It's
there.
11 o'clock at night when they land in Dallas, okay?
Yeah.
So then they're in Dallas, they're on the tarmac for like an hour or so.
Right.
Then they get refueled, then they go to Austin, and then there's no gate attendants there. So when
Oh my
they're on the
God.
tarmac for 2 hours in Austin, they finally get off the
God.
plane. They get to their hotel room at 3 in the morning. Dad
Right.
said 4, so I made
No,
it
it
3
was
because I
3.
know for sure Dad added an hour or two. So Dad said 4, so I knew it was either 2 or 3. So 3, let's say. You checked in your hotel. Then you had a flight the next morning.
We had 6 o'clock, 6:30 or
No.
something.
No, it was like an 8 o'clock flight, but you had to wake up at 6.
We had to wake up at so we had like
and then
4
that
hours
was
of sleep.
delayed for 2 hours, and then
What the hell?
they landed right when their call time was, and then the traffic was so bad from LAX to the studio in Glendale. If you are familiar with LA, it was an hour and a half in the car ride, so they were an hour and a half late to set with a show that had already been pushed back. So it was just like it was such a
They
cluster.
even moved the show. They moved the show back 5
I
hours.
was so proud of Dad for not being like, we should have done this, like,
Well,
and not having that. And now
he
I know
humbled
why.
up, yeah.
No, but I know why now. It all makes sense. This is the thing. People don't change. There's circumstances that lead people to act differently. And I'm the same way. Like, listen to me right now. I'm like, it's Dad's fault. Like, I have to, someone has to be to blame.
Well,
but
it
Dad
was
didn't know.
chilled.
And guess what? That flight the next day, you should probably check the status of it because it was probably canceled too. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you would have chosen that flight, it would have been canceled. Like, it's just, this is all just rolling the dice. And Dad was probably being smarter and being like, let's get in tonight, you know?
He just wanted to get going.
Yeah.
We're going to the airport. We're
Let's
ready to go.
So
What
got
is it
there.
with dads? Why are dads get so angry about directions and traveling? My dad would flip out about that too.
yes.
It's
Dad.
always dads.
It's just
don't
men.
know.
Let's call it what it is.
Well,
You guys
I'm
are
a man.
angry.
I'm a man, and I don't. I'd be in the
I feel
car
like a
with my
man
dad,
too.
And I would be like, Dad, it's not like we'd miss an exit. And it'd be like, we'll just take the next exit. And for like the next hour, he'd be like, I can't believe we missed that exit.
I
We could have
know.
been in Boston
I
by now.
can't handle when you just miss an exit and you just go, it's okay. It's just adding 2 minutes. Waze is self-correcting. It's just added 3 minutes to the journey. It's okay, but it's like, I could have gone. Like, it's like, you just lost 7 minutes of your life. Whatever that little thing you just did, you just injured yourself.
You're so good about being chill.
When it comes to like things you can't control.
I mean,
Really?
you've learned that. You're really good. You'll go, there's nothing we can do about it. Just go with it. It's like, okay.
Oh, I need to
No,
take.
you're
a sip
really
of my own
good.
medicine every once in a while.
No, you really are good about it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I
gotta say.
just oh shit. Like this is my family's motto. Shit. Oh God, we like just missing out on
oh,
things.
God,
God
is the
damn it, Nikki! Why didn't you do that? You could have got that da da da. You could have like all of the missed opportunities of like, why wouldn't you have said that thing? Like there was one moment in Family Feud where my mom like blanked. Like we were all so scared
Oh,
to
boy.
fuck up because we put so much
Well,
pressure
first
on
of all, we
ourselves.
didn't have any sleep.
Yeah.
We had
exhausted.
Yeah,
we
but
were-
even if you did have sleep, it's okay. Like, it's not like you didn't want to not know that answer. I always say to Dad, do you think Mom wants to be in pain right now? Or whatever he's like complaining about, or like, why didn't you think of that? You just drew a blank up there? Do you think Mom went up there and chose to draw a blank, like she wanted to? Like, that's where, and this is not just Dad. We
Spoiler.
all do it, or like where you.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
No,
Because
but
we
that's
know
what I
that
was.
you were the final Family Feud
I was
collection.
the failure of the whole.
No, you were.
show.
Oh yeah, right. Mom was the funniest. There were.
Can I just say, I saw
She was
photos of you
MVP.
guys, and you guys looked so incredible, like hot. And I know looks don't matter, but
Nikki got us
Jesus
all
Lord.
dressed.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I saw
styled.
the styling.
It was
photos.
so sweet of her. Unbelievable.
a cash
Nick, good
register
job.
sounds inserted.
Yeah, it was
Here.
definitely. I was like,
no. Venmo,
Was it
Venmo.
really?
yeah, it
Yeah,
was,
I paid a stylist to treat it because everyone was stressing about what to wear, and I said,
It was-
"Let's just hire a stylist so you all. I want this to just be easy."
it was
St. Louis
really,
based or LA based?
yeah.
St. Louis based.
No, it was
Nice.
that's-
Megan Perry, shout out.
It
at
was
Saks.
really sweet. I mean, I was like, it took so much pressure
My
off.
sister was like, "Mom's gonna try to go to DSW tonight because these shoes are $400 that she pulled, and I can't have you buy me $400 shoes." And I was like, "Sweet." So Mom is urgently searching online for a DSW tonight,
No,
the
I
night before the
wasn't.
show, and she's gonna go all drive out to Baldwin to pick up these
Nope.
shoes that are not even as good as the ones you want. I'm like, "Let me buy you $400 shoes. I just spent $13,000
Oh, no.
on Taylor Swift tickets. I think I can handle this." And she was like, "Nikki, I swear to God, I will wear these the rest of my life." I was like, "I don't need that guarantee. You will be buried in them if it's up to me."
She told me 1 second. She said, "Oh my God, those shoes," and she said they were $400 and something. And I said,
Oh, I didn't hear something. I just heard 4. Well, then
Oh,
let me
fuck.
talk to her.
"Yeah." Anyway, I said, "Well," I said, "that seems like a lot," and she's like, "No, I will wear." I said, "She
But
said
for something
I will
you
wear
wear the
these for the
rest of
rest
your
of my life."
life?
I said, "Okay, well then, you
Then
know, if
that's-
Nikki wants to buy them."
How many shoes, like how many
I've-
pairs
I've-
of shoes would she buy for like a wedding at like Payless or DSW that were like $80? That's 4 pairs of shoes
No.
to equal that 1 pair of shoes that is so nice that will go with everything. It's worth it to spend this
Oh
much
my
money.
God, they
Was
are
it worth it to spend
adorable.
$13,000 on Taylor Swift tickets? Find out after the break. So, yeah, thank you, Anya, for telling us that we looked so great at
That's so nice.
Yeah,
Family
really
Feud
bold
because-
choices too. Like Lauren's dress was like for a color that I don't normally
yeah,
See,
like
never.
bright orange.
Yeah,
Yes.
And
not on
EJ
her.
was
Yeah.
like all black and like foxy and
Dapper, yes.
Yeah.
I did see my dad during the fitting change out of like he was wearing he wears like boxer briefs. And they're like dark colored, so they're not like I'm not seeing it. And I've seen my dad like wears Speedos. Like it's not and I'm
Right.
just in there talking to them like on my
No,
phone.
he doesn't.
Has he ever worn a Speedo? I think he owned one once.
Once.
Maybe.
It's singed
once.
in her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's wearing
exactly.
it every day in my
same with
in my head.
Same with my dad too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
It was
one
like
time is enough, and then
1983.
it's like always. Well, that's never leaving me.
yeah.
No.
And so, Dad's always wearing Speedos in my head. And so then, I was in their dressing room, and Dad like was changing out of his pants, and I just looked up and I saw my body. Change. I saw my aged body. I know exactly what I'm going to look
No.
like when I'm 68.
You have a Glaser body. You
Yes.
have your Aunt Lynn's body.
I just got to
too.
keep my skin tight because
Yeah.
that's the only thing. Otherwise,
Yeah.
great physique.
Yeah.
Like things are going to look good.
I said you got
Dad
lucky.
gets wiry. Like I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
getting this like very old thin.
Yeah.
Like Dad goes, I went down a pant size, and he's not even trying to.
No.
I love old people that just like lose a lot of
Yeah.
weight. Like I just want to get real.
Well, what does he eat?
Spindly.
What is he? Because my
Um,
dad is like
kale.
really skinny, and I'm like, man,
Just
how'd
kidding.
you stay so fit? And then like all he eats all day is like one piece of spinach and a bean, and that's why
My dad
he
does
weighs.
not watch his weight.
No.
My
He
dad has never
eats
once looked at
whatever
the
he
calories
wants.
on something. My dad
Her
has not
dad
ever
is
once
just
looked
like
at the fat.
J-Lo.
Exactly. The way that
Superhuman.
Ben Affleck describes J-Lo as like, she just eats whatever she wants. That is my dad.
Yeah.
And it
Wow.
actually is the way to live your life. If everyone ate like Dad, like he eats when he's hungry, he doesn't eat when he's not hungry. He doesn't emotionally eat. I've never heard my dad go like, oh, I'm so full, I can't. Or like, oh, I feel sick. Never once. Dad Dad, have you ever heard him, Dad, say like, I'm so full, I gotta undo my pants like we are?
Well,
Never.
I eat every meal with him, so I've heard it before, but not like a
He's
regular
never
thing.
like, Keith,
He
get that
doesn't
away
over-
from me. He's never said, get it away from me.
I know
Like
exactly
women
how
are
much
trained to
he
do.
eats. I mean, I know exactly a serving.
But he doesn't overeat, but he's not, never stopping himself from wanting what he wants. He's never once dieted.
Never.
Ever. And he always looks thin. And he doesn't really work out that much. That's what I've
he
learned.
does.
Mom, I know what Dad does to work out, and it's like
He
10
goes to
minutes.
the gym every day.
I've seen him at the gym. I used to go to the gym with him. He works. He like
He walks
he
does a
doesn't do
circuit.
any cardio. He
No,
will
no.
he will lift
Lift
weights,
weights.
but that's like he doesn't overdo it. He's not like a guy that's bulking up. I started lifting weights recently because I want to have a libido again, and I was told that I have low T, and you can take like testosterone supplements. But I was like, can I eat like what foods have testosterone in them? They're like none, and I'm like, well then how am I supposed to get testosterone? Like I thought it was like a vitamin that you can like. And she was like, the one thing you can lift weights, and I was like, oh really? Like there's nothing I can take. So
good
I've
for
been
you to
lifting
lift
weights recently to get my T back up, and I gotta say it comes back up. Like I feel so much more vibrant and alive and sexual and like just a functioning, human being in society when I have a little bit of when I'm just like pushing a little bit, and it
Oh,
doesn't
wow.
take much. I
That's
do like a
inspiring.
5-minute workout.
That's
It's
awesome.
and it's nothing. It's just a thing I found on Instagram of this girl being like, do this for 10 times, then this, then this. I'll share it on the story, the arm workout I do. But that's all I do. And then I work on a treadmill. I walk on an incline for a half hour. But that's all that's all I feel like I have to do now. But yeah, the idea that I was like, just never, I don't like feeling like I have no sex drive or no, and I don't mean to talk about sex. That's not where we're going with
I
this,
don't
but like,
care.
There's a
Oh, you don't-
deodorant you could put on.
I know you don't care about sex.
You could
I
put
don't
on a
care about-
deodorant that gives you tea.
Really?
Yeah, there's a deodorant, but it stinks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
smells
maybe
like
it's like
tea.
smells. What if it smells like pheromones, like good?
That's what it smells
good
like. I don't
tea?
know if it
Oh.
depends on who you are. If you like that smell, it's the musk. Some people have a stench that for some it'd be like the most attractive smelling thing, and then for others it's a repulsive, disgusting.
It's so true.
Yeah,
Do you
and-
know that if
Yeah.
on birth control, like you can become unattracted to your man's scent
Oh,
because
no.
it changes everything?
Oh, like the
Or
like
if you
the
get off,
woman
if you
takes
fall
the
in love
birth
with a
control.
guy
Oh no.
on a birth control and you're really attracted to this guy, if you get off that birth control, it can change your perception of
Oh.
smells and pheromones, and it can make girls become disgusted with their husband's or boyfriend's scents, or vice versa. They go on a birth control and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh God, he stinks," because it changes your hormones and your attraction.
We're all
Anya, do
just sacks of meat, and you could just
and chemicals.
and little changes like little changes to your brain could change your entire personality. One
Yes.
lobotomy away from being a completely different person. Our lives are a farce.
Oh, you bump your head and you can all of a sudden want to fuck children or something.
Yes.
Like this.
Oh my
I'm not kidding you. People.
We are not in
Always
control.
go.
Well, I'm just thinking of the worst thing, but like, I always talk about this on the podcast. Pedophiles don't want to be pedophiles. It's just an anomaly in their brain.
So
They
maybe if a
don't wa-
pedophile bumped his head, he won't want to fuck.
I
you.
would be
Yeah,
slamming my
reverse
head against
therapy.
everything if
Plot
I wanted
of
to
an
fuck
episode
kids.
of Gilligan's Island. I think like
No.
one of them, he hits his head on a coconut, and then all
I
of a
have
sudden
friends who
becomes a pedophile.
hit their heads and had huge changes in their personality. I mean, let's talk about like TMI, CTE. Like these are all things that
Mhm.
Mom has had 7 concussions that she can remember.
5.
5, so
Wow.
probably
How?
7.
Yeah,
Lacrosse?
I should be in a.
Can you name
study.
them all? Like the kids in your family? Nancy, Jimmy,
Here we
Michael,
go.
Julie, Tom, or Peggy. Nancy, Jimmy, Michael, Julie, Tom, or Peggy, Chucky, Bobby, Sally, Mom, and Dad.
Patty?
Patty. Nancy, Jimmy, Michael, Julie, Tom, or Peggy. Nancy, Jimmy, Michael, Julie, Tom, or Peggy, Chucky, Sally, Patty, Mom, and Dad.
Yes.
Are you saying Tom or Peggy?
Tomer?
Those were the
Okay.
answers for the Family Feud final, I think.
And turkey. Turkey Tomer. Okay, what concussions? Let's go through them.
Oh my God. Okay. My first one was I fell off a horse with at
Oh,
a
that's
girl,
a good one.
Yeah, that
Cindy
is-
Depue's farm, and then my first one was a tire swing. But my brother Tomer hung up, and it was above the cement driveway. And he said, "Do you want to try it first?" And I said, "You're
Aw.
darn right." And so I fell and hit my head that time.
Can I just also say my mom was the 7th of 10 kids in a Catholic family, and her nickname as a child was
Pig woman.
They were so mean to her. She had
Maybe that's why I fell off that tire.
She had dirty knees, and she would just go make friends with old people in the neighborhood because
Yeah.
no kids really liked her. Is that
Why
true?
woman?
I didn't
You
know
were a
that part.
child.
But she was pig woman.
Yeah.
She was a little
weird.
No wonder I
chubby.
didn't
Even though she was a little
so
girl, she was still
sad.
a woman.
It was so sad.
Yeah.
I was a little chunker.
When did
I was a little chunker. No, I,
I
had
doubt
a
it.
my sister 2 years older than me was a waif. And so she always was so thin and she would go, you're fat. And I'm like, I am not. But anyway, she was skinny. So yeah, I was fat. to her.
Peggy?
Yeah.
Met her.
Anyway, so then
Still thin.
okay, so that's two and then I was riding on Joni Neal's shoulders in the school playground on the cement. And we were having races, and she tripped, and I hit my head.
Oh, poor
And then
mom.
that
Poor
was-
pig woman.
Pig woman fell off of
Pig
Joni's
mama.
shoulders. And then I was on a date once, and we were riding horses through this grapevines.
Oh my God, were you on The Bachelor? Was it your one-on-one with Peter?
Terry, or one-on-one.
Was the band Train playing when you got to the
No, the
promenade?
funniest story was that it was out in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and I started dating this guy, and he had a winery. His family owned a winery,
Mm.
and he's like, and I wasn't horseworthy,
Yeah, you felt like I don't
You're-
belong in this
I
kind
really
of family.
I fell off a horse when
You're
I
a
was
pig woman, not a
10.
horse
I was a
woman.
pig woman.
You're a big one.
So he's going up and down these, and he's galloping, and I'm like, hold on, and he went, and my horse went around
Twice on a horse?
twice on a horse. So I fell off of that horse.
Oh my
And I,
God.
so then,
Once you
so
fell
I'm
off
like
the
going,
horse, is that when Train started playing?
Yeah.
something happened. But the funniest part of the story was, so I'm like, he goes, it's okay. My neighbor's a nurse. And I'm like, okay, because I was seeing stars. And yeah, I'm like, and we're walking. He goes, oh, there is my nurse neighbor. And I'm like, we're walking over, and I'm like, Tom? And it was my old boyfriend who was a nurse. He moved out to the country, and he lived next door to Terry's Chateau
So your
Pommier.
boyfriend is a nurse? Because you're going to
was
think, you
a-
think it's a woman.
Oh, you think it's a woman? I'm
Yeah.
like, he's like, my neighbor's a nurse. I'm like, oh, perfect. I said, I'm really definitely have something going on. And I'm looking, we're walking towards, he goes, there's my nurse neighbor. And I'm like, Tom Foley? And he's like, Julie Burke? What? I was like, it was like, am I dreaming this or what? Because we were in the
Yeah.
country. Anyway, that's a part of the story. And then one time, here's the
That's
other. Here's the other
a
last
porn.
one. It's just awful. We're playing softball with a big group. It was with kegs of beer and stuff. It was a Sunday afternoon, and I was dating this one guy who I came with him, and his friends, it's his friends too. So I hit the ball out to the field. That whoever catches it in the outfield, the two people, the third base and second base, run to catch it together, and they bang into each other. But in the meantime, those two knock each other out, and then who was in left field picks up the ball and throws it and hits me in the side of the head.
Jesus Christ.
And
That was like the Three Stooges.
I get
This is like a Three Stooges movie.
literally knocked out.
Oh my
no.
God.
Knocked out. I'm flat out. I'm knocked out. So I end up waking up with this lecture guy over me going, you need a ride? And I said, what?
Tom?
No, Tom.
Tom?
This was a guy who I saw him looking at me.
Ew.
And he kept staring
And
at
he
me.
just waited?
He was waiting around. We were the only two people left there.
Oh my God, they left you there?
Left.
Wait,
my
this wasn't
date.
an organized.
Your date left you?
Because his two best friends ran into each other and they had to go to the hospital.
Oh,
And they
my
just left you on the ground unconscious?
No one
With this
even
lecherous dude?
noticed me laying on the ground
because
knocked
they
out.
were all being tended to.
They had to go take Doug and somebody else to the hospital.
Doug.
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah.
insane. To leave,
I woke up and I'm looking around.
Did you call
going,
this guy later?
you're
I went to his
unconscious.
house. I said, I never want to see you ever again.
I'm coming to see you to tell you I never want to see
Yeah,
you again.
I-
Was before
So
cell
I
phones.
say I was
Oh, yeah,
so
it was no
mad
cell
at
phones.
him. I was like, you left me. He goes, what happened to you? I'm like, oh, you are in such trouble. I was afraid this guy was going to kill me and rape me.
Yeah.
This guy was like a lecher kind of guy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I look around, there's
God,
no one
Julie.
left. This whole group of people.
Thank God you weren't just hit a little bit harder because he probably would have like
He
loaded your body into the
Yeah.
car and
No.
like had his way.
So Jim, yeah,
Fuck Jim,
fuck
man.
Jim. I went over there. I said,
Did he
You-
try to win you back?
oh, he was crying. He was like,
he was.
he said,
What a
I'm so
dumbass.
feel so. I said, what? You left me. I was still dizzy.
yeah.
I had to drive
You were still
home.
dizzy from the first horse fall that you had. You had this
Still
is your
damaged.
5th concussion.
So those
There
are
is
the,
no coming
that
back
5?
from that.
That was 5.
no coming back. That guy
No,
never
You
ever.
can't leave
No.
your date unconscious in a field and
Can you
expect to
believe
get back
that?
together.
Can you
But
believe
what if you
it?
cry, Brian? And so your remorse.
No, it didn't work, Jim.
Oh my God. Okay. So that's insane. I'm glad I have all those stories.
Yeah.
So now we know what to tell the doctor when you get your 6th. I'll
Yeah.
go. I can walk through all 5.
Well,
Listen
there's
to
probably
episode
more,
302.
but I just don't remember.
Yeah, that's well. I'm glad I've
No.
never been around for any of them. I would hate to see you knocked out.
Oh, can you
I
imagine?
mean, I've seen you knocked out.
I got this was
It
knocked
was a little
out.
glug glug glug. I've seen you give yourself a concussion with booze.
Thanks, Nick.
I've seen you go, Tom.
Is that you?
I've left you pass out in a couple fields,
Yeah.
but
She's fallen
That was
off the horse a few times.
because you couldn't drive me home. No, she's fallen off the wagon. Not a horse. A horse was drawing
Oh,
it.
I thought it was a horse. No.
My favorite quote of that whole story is, "I wasn't horseworthy."
Thank you.
That's like sponge-worthy. Yeah.
No.
I felt that way before when I'm dating a guy that like even Chris, like
How
his family
yeah.
is like very well, if you know St. Louis, they're just like he went to private school and they've been to country clubs, and I've only been to country clubs like when like our friends get us in for like, oh, there's a brunch happening, and like we get to like go once, and we have to like go out, we have to go to pay less to get like nice shoes for it. I feel like that's what
That's
country
it.
clubs.
I like that
That's
that
it.
voice that you had for your
That's it.
friend getting you into the country club. It's like,
Yeah, I got
there's a
We're
brunch
gonna
happening now.
brunch that they're letting in the riffraff. Like, there's a little bit of like, I don't deserve this. I'm not good. Like, you know, even Lauren with those shoes. Like, I don't deserve these kind of shoes. Or even with you, anytime I try to get you something super nice, I don't.
I take it now.
Now you take it. You took
I've
those
learned-
tickets.
I'll
tell you, and I told this on the podcast, when I went over after Taylor Swift broke up with Joe, I had a deep pull inside my soul that said, you need to go see her. You need to go be with Taylor. And so I looked up tickets on my weekend off, which was this past weekend. I got a ticket to the Saturday show, and I go, I can't let that little Sunday show hang, and I got to go to that too. And I went over for Easter a couple weeks ago, and I was like, Mom, I really want to go to the Sunday show. And I was like, there's only, I can't buy just one ticket front row. I got to buy 2. And I was like, would you go? And you were like, yeah, I'll go. And I go, they're this much money. And you go, it's a lot, but I do it. And I was like, I couldn't believe, because my mom usually is like, you are not paying
No,
that
normally
for that.
I would say that.
That is disgusting. Like,
no,
would-
you told me a lot less. You said
well, then seat
a couple of thousand, and then there's
fucking jacked it up.
it was StubHub. Then after you bought them, you're like, I'm not going to tell you what these were. And Lauren, look at this. And I'm like, how much? And you were like, well, they take $2,000 each for fees. And
Yeah, I mean the fees were $6,000. I think
Oh,
$5,000 or
yeah.
$6,000 for just
That's
StubHub.
insane.
I'm not joking
It's a
you
rip.
because the tickets
Not
themselves
right.
I think were $4,500 or I think they were $52 each. So maybe it was like $3,000 in fees.
We live
And
in a
then,
monopoly. Ticketmaster and Live Nation merged, and that was a crime
Dude.
against America.
I don't
Yes.
understand it, but I do
Amen.
know that I got screwed because the first night I go, I sit down in my seat and the guy next to me is also alone. I go, "You're alone too," and he was like, "You actually have my ticket," and I was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Wait a second, do you?" I like all of a sudden was like, "Did I actually sit in the wrong seat?" And he's like, "No, I sold that ticket," and I'm like, "You need to buy me a fucking drink then." I was like, not that I drink, but I was like, you owe me, buy me a shirt or something. And he goes, "No, I don't know how much you paid, but I only made $1,000 off of that ticket." And I was like, well, I paid
Oh.
$4,500 for the ticket. So someone
Lord.
resold the ticket they bought from you. And then
Wow.
the next night I'm like, man, maybe I could resell the tickets I bought for Mom and me for $20,000. Like, who knows? Like, I wasn't going to make 20 off of them, but but hell no, I wouldn't have done that because I had already bought it. And I was like, we're doing it. And we got the first night I went was incredible. I was third row. And it was so much fun, and it was so much better to be on the floor. No offense to anyone sitting up. I'm going to sit up in the seats again for another version of the tour. I want to sit everywhere. I want to be all over the theater, because the screens are so insane and phenomenal, and all the her close-ups on the screens. You don't miss anything.
Yeah.
If anything, you're sitting in the front row and you're looking at the screen too. So it's like you're not. And she's so all over the place that even if you are on the floor, this is to anyone who got tickets and isn't on the floor, and you're like, well, I'm not going to have the experience. You are not even close to her for 90% of the show, because the stage has all these different areas.
Huge.
So she's constantly moving around on all these different parts. So she's maybe in front of you for a couple seconds here and there when she walks by, or she'll like sing maybe a verse, if that. Around where you are, and then you scream, and the whole time you're just getting out your phone, so you're looking at your phone, and I'm trying to hold the phone but also look at her with like just clear view to like actually have it. I'm someone who obviously rolls my eyes at anyone who's just filming the entire concert, but as someone who's like that, I have to say, don't judge people who do it, because you don't know what it's like to have it right in front of you, and you want to capture it. You want to be able to watch it again and again and again. There is some compulsion in me that I wanted to capture a picture of it. I just wanted to save it. It wasn't about like, I can't get off my phone. I'm such a millennial or Gen Z or whatever. I'm addicted to my phone and everything has to be experienced through the phone. It was like, you just don't want that moment. You want to capture it. I mean, that's what
I totally understand that, and being able to rewatch it. But like sometimes I'll go to like the Hollywood Bowl, and we'll be like so far away from the stage you can't even see people's faces, and there'll be people filming the entire show.
Fucking insane to me.
Well, you can still see it on the big screen, so it's kind of like.
Well, if you're zooming in on the screen and you're trying to capture like a picture and whatever, I get that. But if you're filming, like you were filming some stuff that was such shitty footage that I just put your phone down and I go, the exposure is too high. Like you didn't know how to work your phone, so I just put my hand down over your phone and I go,
help.
I go, just experience it, because this is not a video.
I wasn't filming for me. Trust me.
Well, I was also filming, so I don't know who you were filming for. So I put my hand over hers because I go, just experience it, because I go, I'll send you better footage that I find on Instagram of this song. Like this isn't good.
Yeah,
what you're doing.
I could care
But
less
Mom
about.
did get some good stuff. So anyway, I was definitely like struggling with finding the right balance of just being in the moment and just like trying to just look at her with my own eyes and know, oh my God, there's 20 feet from me and this person who I love so much. And like, we're breathing. I could give her COVID right now if I wanted to. We're that close. Like, this is just the closest not the closest I'd been to her, because I've, hugged her and taken a picture with her, but very closest I've been to her since I felt this way. And it was just incredible. And she sounded so good. And at the show on my show that I went to alone on Saturday, she got injured.
Oh,
it's this big story.
Yeah.
She, during one of her quick changes, it was between, I think it was Reputation in 1989 or something. She got a gash on her palm. She came out and told the story of it in a caption, which was a very revealing caption for Taylor Swift. She's usually very cryptic and just is like, had a great time in Arlington and you guys inspire me. But this was like, for those worried, I fell during a quick change. It was my fault entirely and everything's fine. I'm totally okay. And she even said like, I'm okay.
Oh, God.
But she had it all bandaged up and she had a Band-Aid that was flapping around. And I was just like, what is that part of her costume I haven't seen yet?
Gash. Yeah.
Huge gash. It looked like a triangle, like right here on her palm.
Chopped out of her palm.
Chopped out. It looked like someone took like a
guitar?
Cookie cutter. Yes.
Oh
I was thinking
God.
the same thing. It looked like it would have almost gotten a tendon, but I think it was more like just the skin, hopefully. Anyway, she you couldn't tell, and she wasn't like trying to hide that hand. She was waving, and she was just like her normal self. I think her adrenaline probably kicked in. But that show was just fucking incredible. And
can you describe the atmosphere? Because when I was watching the videos, I was like, this feels like a historic event.
Yeah.
Like, what was it like in the audience, especially when like the countdown started happening?
The countdown is the most. I have to say, like, I don't know if you guys know about like dopamine release and all the studies about it, but like when you have a really exciting thing that's coming up, like an orgasm or Christmas or your birthday, or like they're about to the winning touchdown, your dopamine rises until it happens, and then it starts to fall even while it's happening. The thing that you're loving, your orgasm that you're having, your dopamine starts to fall. So dopamine rises up until it starts happening. That's the happiest you're gonna get scientifically in your brain. it's not actually the event that makes you happy. It's the anticipation of it. So that fucking countdown is so smart. It starts all of a sudden. It's a minute until, and it goes, "You don't own me." Yeah, dun, 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 dun. And that song starts playing, it's like, dun, 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 and everyone's like, "Woo!" And then the countdown is happening, and then it's like 10, 9, 8, and then the lights go down, and it's like probably a minute or maybe a 2-minute intro of like these guys come out with these fan type things, and then they put him over the center of the square, and then they lift him up, and she's like, "It's been a long time coming, but it's you and me," and then it's just pandemonium. I mean, she's like there, and it's just it really is.
Are
I
people
have to say,
reacting
though-
like the Beatles and Elvis, like
Yes.
screaming and losing their minds?
Yes.
Not crying, screaming. Like I was comparing it to maybe
No,
like
not
Elvis
crying.
and Beatlemania, and it's not like that. It's not people fainting. It's I saw a couple girls crying. I definitely like had a couple tears fall down. Not in that moment, but like different moments during the show when she would sing a certain song or whatever. It wasn't Beatlemania. It was like, that's our friend that we're so proud of.
Oh my God.
That's
The
the
love.
feeling. Yes, the love.
It is like a love fest.
Yes.
I'm like, every person in this stadium is in love.
My mom, because
I would turn around and look at these girls, and they're like, from every age. I was like, oh my God, they're in love with her like Nikki's in love with her.
Because I go, "Mom, I think I could be bisexual for Taylor Swift," and she goes, "Yeah, no shit. Everyone in that goddamn
I
stadium."
said, I am too.
She was like, "Every woman in that stadium would be in a relationship with
Yes.
Taylor
Yeah,
Swift.
that's
If
so
a
true.
romantic relationship,
They're
not
in
a
love with
question.
her.
She is so cute. She is so talented. She is so adorable." So I've run into my friend Kim Gamble at the show on Saturday when I'm there alone. I get there a little bit early because I was so scared about getting there on time. So I got there too early. I didn't want to go to my seat. So I'm just kind of like looking around. I got recognized once on each show by fans, which was nice. That's all I needed. And but Kim was like, "Nikki," and I looked over and it was Kim Gamble who introduced me to Chris Convey. She was my showrunner for Nikki and Sarah Live, my first TV show, and she was the first person I met Taylor Swift with her. We went backstage when she was doing the Red Tour. So it was so funny to run into her and her 8-year-old daughter, who she was pregnant with when I went to her wedding. And so it was like so funny to see this little girl that's now a Swiftie, and she's like, "Mom, we need to go to our seats," and we're trying to catch up. I'm like, when did I become like a mom, like one of the mom's friends that's like annoying and old? Like I made it, like where the daughter's just like, "Oh, nice to meet you," and like kind of annoyed by me. I was like, oh my God, I've arrived. And so I was like, I'm such a Jill or like a Kate. Like I'm trying to think of like your friends, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm like Cindy. That's who I am now. So, but then I remember Kim texted me after the show, like, "Oh my God, that was insane." I mean, all my friends that have gone to her show say it's one of the top 10 nights of their life. I will not.
Amazing.
I will say that it's not, because for me, my top nights of it's a great night of my life, but I truly have my relationship. It's a great night, but like, going to Taylor Swift sing-alongs, to those of you who can't afford tickets to go to her show, sing-alongs give me just as much joy. These sing-along nights, and that's no slight on Taylor, it's just a more intimate space. And when you're doing sing-alongs, you're like singing to each other, and this is more like we're all just looking at her, and it's more interactive to me, at least at the sing-alongs. And not that I've had more fun at those, it's just, it is a comparative experience. So that's heartening, I would think, if you can't make it to go see Taylor, if you're in,
Cheaper.
What about the moments of like her solo acoustic stuff? Those are the unique moments. What was a surprise during each show? Did she surprise you with any songs?
Yeah, well, there was the first night she plays this song Marjorie about her grandmother, and so she sings that song, and it's like so beautiful. It's about oh my God, if you are dealing with any kind of loss in your life, or you want to remember someone and like think about them, put on the song Marjorie, and it like will let you think about the person that you miss and like actually make you feel like they're in the room with you. It's just this beautiful song where her grandma was actually a singer, an opera singer, and she's the one in the family who she was like, "You ever get told Taylor saying this?" She was like, "There's always someone in your family that everyone says like you remind them of them." She was like, "That's my grandma for me. Everyone's always saying like that's your like grandma, like you look like her, you're like her." And she lost her grandma when she was 13, but she has this song, and the lyrics are like, if I didn't know better, I'd think you were talking to me now. And then it goes on, and then she's like, if I didn't know better, I'd think you were listening to me now. And then there's at the final chorus, she goes, if I didn't know better, I think you were singing to me now. And then they have her grandmother's vocals that they found somehow.
She
And
was an opera singer.
"Oh!" And it has her grandma's vocals and the same key. You know, they probably had to auto tune it, but the same pitch as the rest of the song. And it echoes through the stadium. And it's like, and you get chills because I knew it was a grandma's voice, and it's just so beautiful. And it is like, you could feel her grandma in that room. You can feel the person that you're thinking about in that room when it's all about like, and she's like, and I know better, but you're not around. But or it's like, if I didn't know better, I think you were still around. But I know better, but you're all around. And it's just like about how they like stay with us. So it was beautiful. So after that song, she goes to her piano, and it's a little interlude where she talks to the crowd about the album Evermore that we're in the era of. And she's like, we're in Evermore era. And that song Marjorie was really important to me to just sing because my grandmother is from Houston and my mom grew up here. And she was like, and if I keep talking about it, I'm going to start crying. So, okay, change of subject. And then she plays the song Champagne Problems, which she starts out and she says, this was the song that I always wanted to play when the pandemic was happening and I was writing this album, and I was thinking, I might never get to perform live for audiences ever again. Like that was something that people were actually talking about. Like we maybe this is the end of live entertainment. And she was like, and I didn't let myself think about that. I was writing without thinking because I love performing so much. And I was just like, there's no way that that's going to be true. And I'm not even going to think about performing live. But this song, I was thinking if I never get a chance to sing this with a crowd and with my friends and my fans, then it will. This was the secret one that I wanted. I knew that if we got back to it, this is the one I'd want to sing. And she goes into Champagne Problems. And Champagne Problems, if you're a Swiftie, you know that song is about getting proposed to by a guy who's just nice and who you should be with and who his family loves you and you love him, but there's just something not right and you leave him stranded. You drop his hand while dancing. His heart was glass, you dropped it. Champagne Problems. And the family says, what a shame she's fucked in her head, they said, but you'll find the real, and you're like wishing him like, I hope you find something. So it's kind of the song that everyone's going like, this, if she was to feel anything about Joe right now or letting that go, this is where those emotions would come out. And she tears up during the song and everyone reads a lot of into it. So that was really fun to sing with her, especially when she's like, what a shame she's fucked in the head. And her face gets all like devilly and she's like, fucked in the head. It's like really fun. But the best moment of the whole thing was we go to sit first row. And when we get there, we're kind of like, this is fucked. Because if you've been to front row before, sometimes it's too close to the stage. The stage is like 6 feet tall, right? So if you're my mom and you're
5'5",
5'5", you can't see over the stage. Yeah, if she's on the lip of the stage, you have the best seat in the house. But anywhere else on the stage, my mom could not see Taylor at all. Thankfully, there's screens, but my mom can't even see the top of the screen. My mom can only see half the top of the screen.
And these are the most expensive tickets.
These are the most expensive tickets, and she couldn't see. And then
I was okay.
What about the security guard?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture.
Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
He's right in front of us, and he's 6 feet tall. He's
Yeah.
sitting
He's
right in front of
staring
us.
at you.
facing
He's looking
you.
at you.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
and
the
he's
worst
a foot
part.
in front of you. Imagine someone staring at you, a foot in front of you. So and the stage is behind him. You can't even stay. So now he's blocking
head
your
is
view
blocking.
of whatever
Yeah.
stage you could
Even
see.
if you're not
Might
trying
as well
to
go
watch,
to jail.
even if you're
Yeah.
trying to watch a concert, just
honestly.
having someone look at you for 2 hours is
I
off-putting.
liked it. I liked it because I realized the first night that I kind of, a part of me, such a narcissist, probably, this is what I'm deducing, is that I don't like going to concerts because I don't feel like I want to perform. And I feel like at sing-alongs, like there's a performative part of it, like where like maybe someone could be watching me or like, and when you're at a concert, no one's watching you. And not that I need that. Like I can obviously turn it over and go.
People behind you are.
I don't think about that. I need them. I need to know. But
Like
the
to see
security
it.
guards have to watch you, and they are so. I mean, there are these black guys that are probably not into Taylor Swift, not big Taylor. They're all black people that are working security and it's like you can tell that maybe not that she's not someone that black
They
people
were
love.
though. That's true.
They every single person was a black person that probably is not into this type of music and is probably like these dumb white bitches. Like I, in my mind, that's what I'm thinking because we are. And I was like, I'm gonna give them a show to talk about later. Of like, I saw
wow.
this 38-year-old woman crying and losing her mind and like performing it. So it gave me a purpose during the show to like not even to like be like, I didn't want them to be like, wow, she's so good at the lyrics. I just wanted to make them laugh at like how enthusiastic I was.
Give
and to
them
have
a story. Give them a story.
Give them a story.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have to go to break, but I want to tell you about the greatest thing that happened the entire show. And then we'll stop talking about Taylor Swift after that. I promise. Okay, so I will say that this is a very Swiftie episode, and I'm sorry, and this won't happen for every show I go to. But I did post on my story a bunch of stuff about Taylor Swift on my Instagram story, and I even wrote like, I'm sorry for everyone who's not one of the 14 Swifties who care about this stuff. And I got hundreds of messages that were like, I'm one of those 14. So it's more than you think. I'm not
You've converted
alienating
me into
most.
someone who likes. I'm not a Swiftie yet, but I like knowing her stories and the stuff behind her music and stuff. So
Oh, thanks,
I like it.
Noah. Oh,
yeah,
thanks.
It's cool to hear what she talks about in between songs. That's always my favorite part of shows. And she's so good at those
Oh, she's so
inter-song
cute.
stories.
She would just go like, and
a-
it's this running thing that after Champagne Problems, because of the first tour she did or the first couple shows she did, it was so loud. After that performance, she was just sitting there, kind of looking out like. And she takes out her earpiece to kind of go, guys. And so it's kind of every city tries to, at that moment, show their love the most. It's giving me
Right.
chills thinking about it.
Yeah.
But and I've been to 3 shows. It was only that third show where she actually took out her earpiece and goes, guys, this is so loud. And it's kind of like, oh my God. And
It
like
was.
freaking out. And it was sweet because you could tell she like lets it in. And she doesn't. She maybe plays a little faux humble, but I don't think she's playing. I think she really is humble and is like, really, guys? Like she even does the cute thing of
adorable.
like, hi, I'm Taylor. Like, and we're like, yeah, we know, but I think she's actually still that girl that's like, I don't deserve
She's keeping
this.
it humble, I think.
I think she has
She knows how to do that.
she's insecure deep down and probably has a little bit of low self-esteem deep down, and that's what makes us love her is that she hasn't gotten this inflated ego. She has a ton of confidence, clearly, because she's so talented and it's earned, but I don't think she came out of the gate with this confidence.
Is
Like
she
I think it was
avoiding
earned.
any songs about Joe?
No, she goes right into all of them, man. Like she does the song called The One. She actually swapped out. There used to be a song Invisible String that she did, and she swapped it out for The One. Invisible String was about, how they were destined to be together forever, and then she changed it to The One. I think I've talked about this before. And The One is about like, you've moved on after a relationship, but you still think you see him places, and you're kind of like imagining he's hooking up with some girl from the internet, and it's like, oh, is she interested? Like, it's kind of just, so she's changed that song, and that was right before her breakup that she changed the set list, so everyone's like, oh, that's why she changed it. Who knows? It could have just been like, it's more of a bop than the other one. So, but there's little things that she does where people are like, there's this one lyric in Delicate where she's like, do the girls back home touch you like I do? And then at one point she kind of goes, she just like shakes her head like, no. And everyone's like, she's talking to Joe. And it's like, no, she just put a little emphasis behind it. Like, stop reading into everything.
Do you think she'd ever do like London Boy or whatever that song is called?
Yeah, she'll do London Boy again. She'll do all of it because she still does songs about guys that she used to love when she was with Joe or that she's still heartbroken about. Like she'll do
Harry Styles.
She still does Lover, and Lover is all about Joe. I mean, she did say that these are songs that I wrote at one point that meant something. She said, yeah, she does Harry Styles. The song Style is about him. But the best part of the whole thing was that, so we're sitting in the front row, and we're kind of like, I'm kind of getting pissed because I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to be zen about it, and like, this was meant to happen. I won't do this again. Next time I'll always get third row because it's just a little bit more space so you can have to see the stage more. And I learned my lesson. It's an
It's like in
expensive
the movie
lesson, but-
theater. You wouldn't get a front row seat in the movie theater.
Exactly. Brian, that's
God.
such a great fucking point. Like, why does that's why I was mad afterwards. I'm like, why does everyone act like front row is the best?
Well, no. There's a reason.
Why? Well,
you experienced.
Oh, the reason's coming. That's a tease.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like not that happy. There's parts before the reason happens that we're like, okay, these seats are justified because how close are we to her when she's walking by?
She's 8 feet from us.
8 feet, and that is
when
being.
I was really measuring it, going, okay, that's like 8 feet.
My mom got out her ruler.
I got out the tape measure and I
Yeah.
said, Taylor, hold that.
Yeah.
And
Shining
Hold
sound
that,
effect. Knife sound effect.
And so she was so close to us, and when she walks around to, because the stage, I mean, it's gigantic. So when she comes over to your area, people just start fucking losing their mind when we sense that she's coming over, and everyone gets out their phone, and it's just like, and I found myself, based on the recordings I made, which I did not know at the time what I was saying, what I was doing, but I've watched back the footage. First of all, I want to apologize to anyone I was sitting next to, especially my mom. With earplugs in, I don't know how loud I'm singing because it just sounds muted in my head. Let me just say, everyone's singing as loud as they can.
everyone is singing.
So it is completely
except
permissible.
me, who doesn't know the words.
My mom didn't know the words, but like everyone else is singing. I sang way too loud. I regret it. I'm sorry to Taylor if she heard it. It's not okay.
I don't think so.
It was too loud. I can hear it on the recordings, and I'm like, it really caused me a
God,
crisis.
I'm dying to hear this.
Oh my God.
But
Is
I
there
will
anything you
say,
can
what
share?
I did realize, I can't. What I did realize was, I will say that my voice teacher would be very upset with how I was singing because I was not singing in my head voice. I was singing all throat, all just like emotional, guttural. Like my vocal cords are re-damaged.
Everyone
from what I was
in that
doing.
place was doing
Yeah.
it.
But there's a way
isn't
to sing.
singing. This is like Gregorian chanting almost,
Yeah.
like some sort of
there was
spiritual.
there was some element of it when I
exorcism.
listened back that was like, Nikki, do you want Taylor to hear you and to be like, wow, you're good. Come on up and sing. Like
It's like
there was
Daisy
a
Jones
little-
and the Sticks.
Yes.
You wanna be
there
the
was
Daisy
such a
Jones
Daisy
person.
Jones. I was so grossed out. This is me being so vulnerable right now. That's in my head when I'm singing, there was no part of me that was like, I hope Taylor hears me. Upon hearing my own voice, I'm like, bitch, you wanted her to pick you out of the crowd and like find you and ask you to join her band and do a duo and be like Taylor and Tegan and Sarah, like Nikki and Taylor.
Most
So-
girls just come to listen, but I can tell you really like to
But I
scream
just
the
sense
music.
that you really you came to butcher my lyrics. So I regret that. But what I will say is that when she would be in between songs or whatever, and she would be close, what I kept saying was, we love you. We love you. You're the best. You're the best. Do you think in a million years I would not think I would be screaming, you're the best? Like what? There's so many other things I want to tell her. There's so many other ways to encourage her, but I'm just like, you're the best. You're the best, Taylor.
I didn't even recognize. I didn't even realize
I didn't.
that.
I heard this voice. I go, who is yelling? You're the best.
I don't think it
That's
was you.
me. No, I
It's so
swear.
generic.
I honestly,
I swear to God, it was me. But then I
don't
realized
remember
of
hearing
course
you
it
do
is.
one.
that.
You're the number
Because-
one singer.
That is what I
That's
would
what I
want to
said
hear.
to my favorite director when I met him. I met Noah Baumbach, who I love, and at a restaurant, and I go to him, your films mean so much to me and my sister. We're sitting right next to you. We're leaving now, but I just had to tell you, you're so wonderful. Thank you. And he goes, oh, that means so much. And then instead of walking away like a normal person,
Oh,
I go,
No.
you're the best. And then he goes, thank you. And then I go, number one, like a foreign exchange student.
And then he gave like the peace sign, the double peace.
I just walked away
America,
and for hours, just
USA.
kept going, number one.
Oh God, funky. Yeah, it's like the moment with Dave Matthews.
really
when
don't
said,
remember
play
you
something
saying
funky. No, I kept saying, but then I realized that final thought. I realized that is what I would want someone to say to me. You're the best.
If you were
We
on
love
stage as a
you.
comedian and people were yelling
not
that, you'd
as a
like it.
comedian. I just like if anyone's gonna give me any message, I want it to be that I'm the best.
Yeah.
Like that's a message, and I truly believe that about her. There's just no one better, and that I am loved. We love you, and so that's if you're boiling down how I feel about her. Those are the things that came out of my body involuntarily. So let's get to the moment. So during the Taylor Swift shows, there are 2 songs that she plays every single set or every single show. Out of her, I think there's 46 songs total, and 2 of those songs are secret songs, is what the Swifties call them. That means that she plays 2 songs that we don't know what she's going to play. And it's obviously a song that she isn't playing in the other 45 songs that she's playing or whatever, 44. And she originally gave these rules of she's going to play a different song for each of those 2 songs every single night of the tour. So let's say she's doing 35 dates. That's 70 extra songs that she's going to have to learn, and not only learn the lyrics to and how to sing them, which is, and you're like, well, doesn't she know how to sing her own songs? No, she creates these new versions of these songs because she does it acoustic. So one she does on guitar completely with herself, and one she does on piano. And she's probably a better guitarist than she is pianist, but she works really hard on these songs. And she even says I've been practicing this all week long. So she puts a lot of effort into the performance of these songs and the arrangement and everything. So it's so much fucking work for her to do. Shout out to Taylor. Thank you for doing these. And she picks songs, and so then, but she's given caveats. If she fucks something up, she gets to do it again at another show if she wants to.
Oh.
So if she makes a mistake, which she's only made one mistake once, and she said she made a mistake on another one, but only because she said she picked the wrong key to sing it in. Even though she did it flawlessly, she was like, I get to redo that one because it was in the wrong key. And then, and then she made another caveat that was I actually love the new Midnight's album song so much that I get to go do those twice if I want to too. She was like, this is ever a changing system. So let me just say the shows that I've been to, the first 2 shows, she did both secret songs were songs I had never heard before. Not never heard before. I'd heard, but they just didn't grip me. A Place in This World is off her first album. The other song she did, I forget what it was on the on Saturday night, but the first show I went to, she did I forget the first song she did, but then she did The Lucky One, which was also, it was really cool because I wasn't really familiar with that song, but then I don't know, there's sometimes you hear a song in concert and you're like, holy fuck, you hear it for the first time and it was a moment of, I get this song on a whole other level that the album version can't even hold a torch to, because she, it's an old song, but she's breathing new life into it. So I fell in love. Now The Lucky One's one of my favorite songs. I heard it for the first time a couple weeks ago, or really heard it for the first time. So, by the way, I don't know where she's going to do these songs. She's been switching it up. Sometimes they put the microphone just somewhere after she finishes the 1989 tour, and then that's where she's planted doing her acoustic song. And then they put the piano a little bit on the other side of the stage, wherever they plant it. I have no idea where this is going to be. I mean, I saw the show a couple weeks ago and I go, I think it's going to be in the mid stage. So I thought, we're not going to be very close to it. I go on Saturday night and I'm like, oh my God, she's doing the acoustic song, right, I think where Mom and I are going to be sitting. That's going to be cool. And not the piano one, the guitar one. Piano, front row for piano. There's still piano between you.
Yeah.
It's acoustic guitar. You are fucking with it. So I thought we were going to be sitting on the piano side of the stage. Actually, we get to our seats and we're on the guitar side. And I'm like, I think we might be in the best seat for the secret song guitar version of it. And by the way, of any song you want to be front row for, of her whole 45 song set list, it's going to be the acoustic one. A, because it's acoustic and it's just her alone and you can hear it so perfectly and hear her and it's not muddled by dancers or anything. But B, she doesn't move because she has to be on this microphone and she's stationary. The rest of the song, she's running all over the place. There's not one song that you would want to be. And I'm not joking you, they put up the microphone and I lose my fucking mind because it couldn't have been more in front of me. I mean, it is not to the side of foot. It is not to the left. It is right in front of me, as close as you can be. The number one best seat in the house for the acoustic song. And
you go to your
Taylor
seat.
Swift,
You're the best. Number one seat.
And I am like, oh my God. And so she walks over to it. She is right there. I mean, you saw my Instagram stories. She is
Yeah.
8 feet in front of me, couldn't be closer to her. And
I thought that
she
was the
sings-
TV screen.
That was
and
then
then
That's
I
why I
realized
kept
it was
saying
her.
it's not the TV. That is her. And I took a selfie. I turned around because I go, that's not a screen. That's literally her. I'm in the same shot as her physical body. She's right in front of us. She plays a song I do know called Begin Again that I love. And so that was so good because usually she plays some obscure song that I don't know. And this one it was just like a private concert. Couldn't have been closer. It was the best. It was worth that money so much. Like it gives me chills just thinking about it now. It was incredible.
worth everything.
Yeah. Wasn't that a special moment when she
Oh
was
my
right
God.
there?
It was,
And you could see every little good, like her guitar
you
work
could
was
see
incredible.
every dimple.
There was no pore on her face, but if
Yeah, I
there
was
were
gonna say
pores, you
pore,
could
but
see
no.
pores on her face.
She doesn't have pores.
But she was just stunning and just so, and she was just like, it was just like,
So intimate.
she just so intimate. That's how it felt. Like
It
she's just
just
the way
was.
she smiles. She's just like you're right there. We did not make eye contact at any point. Everyone's like, I think she made eye contact with you. She did not look at me. I'm happy for it. I didn't want to distract her. I would have been too much. I probably would have gotten the lyrics wrong and she would have read my mouth and like it gotten fucked up. Like it just would have been bad. So I'm glad she didn't look at me. But the other thing that happened that was wild on this thing, and I know that we got to rush, but so my mom and I went to a cemetery on Saturday because my friend Harris Wittels, who I shouted out before, who created Humble Brag, he died 8 years ago. And he was a comedy writer on Parks and Rec, and he was a comedian, a friend of mine. And he died tragically from heroin. I really recommend listening to his episode of You Made It
Holmes.
Weird with Pete Holmes, his second appearance, because he talks about his heroin addiction. And it's funny, but it's also sad. And you know how it ends because he died tragically not too long after he recorded that. But so I've always, whenever I'm in Houston, I knew he's buried there. He's from there. I always wanted to go visit his grave. But every time I've gone, it's been flooded or I've been in town for just like not enough time. And it's out in the kind of the suburbs or in this weird area that, nothing's by. So I asked my mom, I was like, hey, can we go to this grave? And my mom was like totally down.
I love graveyards.
Yeah. They're fun.
They're
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful.
There's
They're
crows.
peaceful. And there's crows. You love crows.
Yeah,
Crows.
ravens.
Yeah.
Everything. I love. Yeah.
Death.
Yeah.
And so we find, and my mom's very worried. She's like, how are we going to find this gravestone? I'm like, findagrave.com. And that's a real site.
Oh my God.
And it gives you the exact coordinates, the location, the section, the plot number. So we find it. And it's like no one else is in the cemetery. It's like dead quiet. And I'm like, I want to leave something. I forgot to bring like flowers or something. So I was like, I want to leave something. And I'm looking through my bag and I'm just like, oh, he played guitar and I have a guitar pick. I was like, I'll leave a guitar pick just as something. So I put a guitar pick on the grave and then we go and we walk around the rest of the cemetery and we're just like telling stories about him. And then we're talking about death. And then we played
Marjorie.
yeah, we played the song Marjorie because it's about death. And then we played the song The Best Day, which is just about like Taylor and her mom, like Taylor talking about a song about her mom. And we just like had this like great moment of just like mother-daughter, like just bonding time. It was so nice. And
Yeah.
then we went home and just relaxed in bed and like got ready for the show. And then we go to the show and we're there and it's, it's in the show just starts and she's like 3 songs into, she starts with the Lover album and she's like 3 songs in and my mom and I are singing Lover, the song like Lover, when I go where you go. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I mean, we're front row, this guy comes up to where we are, taps me on the arm and holds out a guitar pick, this Lover guitar pick, and is like, here, and like swings it in my face, and I'm like, what? And I just take it, and then he leaves.
Yeah.
And I
Is
have
he a
no
security guard?
idea. Yeah, like he wasn't like one of the ones in yellow shirts that were guarding. He looked like he was like maybe,
A manager. Or
yeah,
something.
like one of like just someone
Like
Part of
backstage.
the event.
Yeah, like probably. So I don't know what it was, but I got a Lover guitar pick, which is an official, like it has the weight of one that she uses probably. Like I feel like it's a nice guitar pick, and everyone around me is looking at me like,
Yeah, we were like, what
Who
is
are you?
this?
And I'm like, I
Who-
don't know. Like, oh
And
my
he
God.
disappeared.
And he goes away. He doesn't give me any info. He just is like, take this. And she's on stage. It's not like she threw that out or something. Like she throws out her guitar picks after she plays. So it's not like one that was thrown out and then like he found it. Like I don't understand where it came from. If anyone out there can tell me what the fuck that was, I really want to know. But then I realized It's a sign. I gave a guitar pick to Harris's grave earlier, and I got one back later that night. I felt like it was like, I'm not someone who believes
No,
in...
it's some weird sign. I honestly
But
feel...
for me to get it was like Harris being like, I saw you there today. Here's a gift
Got
for
it.
you. Got it.
Wow.
And here's one for you too. Like
Here's an
that's what it felt
upgrade.
like to me. Was like he was in there that night, or there was some cosmic energy of like, thanks,
Yes.
buddy. Thanks for your gift today. Here's a gift for you. Like, because there was no reason behind it. It wasn't like anyone knew Nikki Glaser was there and she plays guitar, and I wasn't singing the song more than other people. There wasn't like, we're going to give this to the most enthusiastic. There was no good, the security guard in front of us, I had asked him to move, so there's no one to perform for anymore. So
They're mad at you back there.
if anything, they were like, who does she think she is? I literally go, we paid good money for these seats and you are blocking our view. This doesn't make sense. And I wasn't being rude about it. I
Yeah.
was like, I just don't understand why you need to be so close to us. Like, what is going to happen? And they were nice, though. They were like, oh, yeah. And he backed off. That was, I
but
wanna
he
give
was
a
still in the way because he was bobbing his head around.
yeah, because then Shake It Off came on. He couldn't help but bob along to it. I mean, you that's a toe tapper. And so it is funny to see the security guards like being cool, and then all of a sudden they're like, blank space, baby, and I'll write your name. And you start to see them like ding, bing, bing, boom, boom. Like kind of bounce back and forth and like start all moving and so it was just the best. And I can't wait to go again. I'm gonna go in Nashville next weekend. And yeah, I'm filming a show
Next
there on.
weekend?
Yeah, or not next weekend, the weekend after. I'm filming a show there on Thursday, and I'm going to see her on Sunday. So I might have to get tickets for Friday and Saturday. I don't know. I might do it again. And now at this point, I have the show memorized, so I know what each song goes into it, and I have all the interludes memorized. And it's like,
Now you
I
know
know
which row to
and I know
be
the
in.
dance. Yeah, I know which third row, and I know like some of the dances, and it's like, because they're not that hard, but they're like so fun. So I don't know. I think I'm going to keep going and auditioning for her. And at some point, she's going to go, you get on up here. You get on one of these bicycles. You
You've
drive
been in
around
every
me.
city.
Yeah. So that was
Maybe
the Taylor
that's what the
recap.
guitar pick was. It was like you got like 5 shows under your belt. You get a guitar pick.
Oh yeah, it was. That's so true. Oh my God, yeah, that's the tiered system that they get. Next time I'll get a capo, and then I'll get a strap, and then I get a guitar. Yeah,
That's
and then I
100
get a
shows
job.
though. 100 for a guitar though. That's a lot.
Oh my God, I can do it. It really was like, it's just where I belong. It felt so right. It's so
So fun.
and everyone's dressed up. I mean, the costumes.
Oh my
Oh, I
God.
love that.
Have you ever seen anything like it, Mom?
Nothing. No.
It's like I called it Swiftcella. It's everyone. It's like Coachella, but it's everyone's just like girly jewels and just everyone's
So
just
cute.
I mean,
It's just the involvement of
can
everyone.
I just say the funny? Some people are doing really funny costumes. So every night she loads into the arena because she can't go underground. There's no underground to get in. So she loads in. They have a mop cart. They built this like cart that she hides inside. And then at the top, they have like fake tops of mops. So it looks like they're going all the way through it, but they're just the tops.
What?
And someone filmed her getting out of it. So we know she's in there.
Oh my
so
God.
lately at concerts, people have been dressing as the mop cart because they're just like any reference to her.
Cool.
It's so funny. So it's just like, it was so fun. And thank you for letting me
time.
talk about it the entire episode, you guys. We will
What a
be here
cool
tomorrow.
mother-daughter weekend.
It was so fun.
And
Wow.
last night I was like,
Yeah.
I missed you last night. We got back here and I was like, oh, I
I
want
know.
to
I missed you too.
Oh, that's so
I was
nice.
like,
I wanna do something
oh,
fun with my
what are we
mom.
gonna?
I know.
No, I called you. I'm like, or texted you. Come over. And watch
I know. Watch
Succession.
Instead I watched the Boston Marathon bombing
Oh.
documentary.
Your dad said, "Why does she like shows like that?" I'm like, I'll definitely watch.
Oh
that.
yeah, I told Anya today there weren't enough body parts. I didn't see enough limbs or gruesome footage. I want more. Not that I want that to happen to anyone. It was horrible.
Of
but
course.
if we're gonna go there, let's go there.
Yeah, let's see the real.
I want to see what
Yeah.
her leg looked like when it was all twisted off and shit like that. Like
Wow.
But it would. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great documentary.
graphic,
series.
huh?
You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
No, it's not that graphic. I
Oh.
mean, it's like what happened
Oh,
is
you-
so
you
graphic,
just-
but
yeah.
it's really well done, and it doesn't waste your time. It doesn't talk to you like you're a fucking idiot. It's really good.
Okay.
It's not a bomb. It was, but the show itself, not a bomb. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll be here tomorrow on the show. Don't be and just forgive me for talking about Taylor Swift the whole time. Thank you.